So recently I decided to try and go back and solo Firelands on Heroic. And this right here is Heroic Rhyolith on 10 man. Now the big challenge, of course, is the gimmick of this fight. And it was a fight that really frustrated, my raid and my guild back when it was current content. Because the idea was that you had to move this boss's legs by damaging one leg or the other, and depending on how much you damaged one leg, he would start to rotate and turn in that direction. Now, to add complexity to the fight, the boss starts with a 80% damage reduction to his legs. So initially moving his legs is actually pretty difficult because he's much slower. But as the fight progresses, he starts to move faster, which actually throws you off even more because you were accustomed to how fast he was moving at one point in time, and it's constantly adjusting. Now on Heroic he summons an additional add type. They're called liquid obsidians, and these spawn every time you walk over an active volcano with the boss. And what they do is they aim for the boss, and once they reach him, they actually renew the stacks of this buff that you've been trying to remove. Now with all that's going on in this fight, with all the different ad types and whatnot, and trying to direct the boss, I actually just completely ignore these ads and just AoE, and sometimes I'll kill some. I don't bother with worrying too much about them. Now the next ad type is the Fragments of Rhyolith, and these will spawn periodically, and they will stick around for 30 seconds, and at the end of that 30 seconds, if you haven't killed them, they'll deal damage to you equal to the amount of health that they have left. So again, with this ad, I just didn't really target it. I just did a lot of AoE to try and make sure that they were at least somewhat low when they exploded and dealt damage back to me. Now the last ad type is the Spark of Rhyolith, and these are the big ads that come periodically, and what they do is over time they'll gain a stacking buff which increases the damage that they do, and it'll also increase the damage which they take. So what I would do is I would ignore them for a little while until they had gotten a lot of these stacks, and then I would specifically target them once I'd at least gotten Rhyolith going the direction that I needed him to go. I would target these things and knock them out real quick. Now for glyphs on this fight, I'd recommend Alabaster Shield and Focus Shield, just because you're going to want as much single target DPS as you can get for the legs. You can also pick up Holy Wrath to stun the elemental ads, and they're like all elementals. I'm not sure if all of them can be stunned. It wasn't really a big issue for me. I think I only used Holy Wrath like twice on this fight, but that glyph's there for you if you want to use it to stun the ads. Now as far as talents for this boss, I got it down on my second attempt, so I really didn't get to experiment much, but I'd say you're going to want to go with Sacred Shield, of course. Standard for our protection paladin, anything you're doing. I'd go with Holy Avenger just to be able to turn the boss and to get some really steady damage reduction out when you need it. I'd also say go with Holy Prism. I went with Light's Hammer, but that's really just because I didn't do the boss very much. I think Holy Prism would be very good for this fight with all the small ads that you can knock out with just Holy Prism. Now once Rhyolith reaches 25% health, he's going to go into phase 2. All of the ads are going to disappear, and all of his remaining armor will fall off, and then you just finish him off. And actually, I really expected this phase to be a lot harder, just because of my experience at level with the boss, but it's really easy. It's a cakewalk. Once you hit this phase, you've got the fight. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw, go ahead and check out my channel or some of the videos and the annotations here, and I do some video guides and some other creative stuff, so check it out. I'll see ya.